Hello and welcome everyone to another one of my new series, which I'll be calling Competitive Wrap-Up, and I'll be doing it once a month. What the series is simply wrapping up all the big tournaments that happened all over the world of the last month in one video. So this time we'll be doing it for March. Usually I'm going to try to get these videos out as soon as the month ends, or right as the next one finishes. This one's a bit late and I'm sorry about that, but because this is the first one, I don't have as many results yet. For example, for Europe, there was actually not that many tournaments, or at least not the ones that I'm aware of, but I will be going into the ARG tournaments, the very prominent VGCS tournaments in Japan, some of the Team League results, some of the official tournaments in Japan as well. But if you participate or know of any big official or non-official like ARG and VGCS, if you go into any big Vanguard tournaments and you know the results of like the top 4 places, if you can tell me or link me to them or show me pictures of the deck list, please do, because then I can feature them in next month's competitive wrap-up. So we'll be starting off with results from the United States with the very first ARG that happened in March, which was ARG Richmond. The first place in ARG Richmond was taken by Julia Romero with the Thavas and Anger Boil deck. So you can see for the ARG I will just show the deck list, and also in the description you will find all the deck lists that I will mention. For the deck list where there are pictures I will show them on the screen, but otherwise I'll just show deck lists like this. So first place was Thavas Anger Boil, so Aqua Force. Second place was Toby Harris, or Antoine Harris, I'm not sure what I should refer to them to, but they topped with Pale Moon Harry. This was still before GBT06, so it is a quite good achievement. In third place was Andrew Lee with the Maiden of deck, which we have not seen topping, I believe, maybe we've seen it once in Japan last month, but other than that, this is a very big achievement as well. And finally, we have Nathan Langham, who topped with Ripples. So even after the big nerf they got, Ripples are still able to top, and this came in 4th place. The other ARG event that took place during March was ARG Detroit. So in first place we had Justin Stiver, who topped with Mordred Abyss. In second place we had John Pedro, who topped with Nubatama after the technical booster buff. In third place there was Chris Baracco, who topped with Gavrail Shamsiel. And finally in 4th place we had Nicholas Brandt, who topped with Grade 1 Rush Royals. Going to the other end of the world and taking a look at the Japanese VGCS results. The first VGCS we'll go into is the Kansai VGCS, which was won by 7 Seas. So as you can see, you can finally see the actual deck list in a picture. And here in the second picture you can see their G-Zone lineup and that pretty nice playmat the guys got. In second for the Kansai VGCS was the very prominent Nociel deck. A lot of people question why there is the 1 Atmos. That is simply to be able to use parkour that you can also see in the deck. Nociel is a deck that's been topping all over Japan non-stop. It's a very, very strong deck and people are still listing it off as a rogue deck even though it's insanely strong. And in third place, we have the very popular Thing Blaster. So it mainly runs just Thing Sabers. You can see 1 Ult Mile and 1 Blaster Blade Burst, which we don't have in English, and then a lot of techs and the usual blaster stuff. Now, the reason why there was no 4th place in the Kansai VGCS was because the 4th place person was disqualified for cheating. That player was a Ripple player, so had they not cheated, they would have been a Ripple player. But chances are, but what I've heard is that the player that cheated, they hit a card and then used it later on, and I'm kind of inclined to assume that card wasn't Odysseus, but let's just keep that between ourselves for now. The next VGCS was the Shikoku VGCS, and this had the first place again of 7 Seas, which is a very, very prominent deck because of its insane aggression, and it generally is a super strong deck, so this was the first place. In second place we had Nociel yet again, and in third place we had Sanctuary Blaster, which is another variant of the Blaster deck, and it's also equally as strong as a Thing Blaster as well. Next up we have the Aichi VGCS, which was a team tournament, so we'll be going over the first to third place teams. In the first place team we had the first fighter running a Diablo deck, and this was basically the Diablo deck that set off the kind of basics of what all other Diablo decks will look like. Nobody plays Vortimer, they simply play Blaster Dark with Death Spray, and this is the basic lineup. The second fighter of that team played Chaos, and the third fighter played 7 Seas. The second place had their first fighter as a Time Leap deck. second place also being a Nociel deck, and third place being Sanctuary Blaster. The third place first fighter played Chaos Messiah. The second fighter of the third place played 7 Seas. And the third place third seat played Nociel. Looking at the Kaguya VGCS, I only managed to gather the top 2 results, but the first place winner was Gungnir, who is a very prominent Japanese fighter who has topped many tournaments and has started off the standard for many decks. I believe he also piloted the very old Think Saver Abyss deck back in the day as well, so this time he topped with Nociel, and unlike most players, he also included draws and one of the legions. The second place of the Kaguya VGCS played a very similar deck to Gungnir's, so there's not much else to mention here that wasn't already mentioned before. Now, there are some deck lists from the Hakata VGCS, which was a team tournament, and sadly I could not find pictures of those because most of them usually go on Twitter. This one I could only find through the portal that usually contains all the Japanese results, but because it's in Japanese, I took 2 deck lists that I could find there, and one of which was Night Rose, which you'll see on your screen now. It's a automatically Google translated list from Japanese, so I will include the website if you want to take a look at it, if you can read Japanese, or if you can sort of make sense of the effects and stuff like that. So there's the Night Rose deck list, and then here is another one of the Thavas Anger Boil decks as well, as we've seen in a previous result before. A couple of official Japanese tourney results, both of them being Revenger, one of which was a 4 grade 3 Revenger deck with only 4 Raging Forms and a lot of grade 2s. So this one was a place for Dorant and BDR and Tartu as well. So, and there's also no Judge Bow on this, there's the Cloudus instead, and there's only 4 G units, so it is a pretty interesting deck list. And finally, the other one is, I think a lot of people have seen this one, it's the standard Raging Form Abyss deck list with only 2 Abysses and 3 Masquerades. Now finally, I'll just quickly mention the Team League results, because the Vanguard website does not really let you kind of compact everything into one picture. I'm just going to list them off. So in Canada, Vancouver, first place was Team No Guts No Glory. Their lineup was Revengers with Mordred, Phantom Blaster Dragon, Breakride, and Abyss. Second player played the Cross, and third player played Sanctuary Guard Dragon. Second place team was Team NW Thirst. First fighter played Chaos Messiah, second played Tavas, and third played Gabriel Nociel. And the third place team was Team Steven Seagall. First fighter played Thavas, second played a 4 grade 3 Great Nature, and third player played the very annoying Freeze Ray Messiah. This one took place before GP206 release, but the Indonesia Jakarta one took place after GP206, and the first place team was Team Shaymin, with their lineup of Chaos Messiah as their first player, Raging Form Dragon Abyss as their second player, and Sanctuary Guard Blaster as their third player. The second place team was Team OGRE or Ogre Chaos Pirates. The first player played Chaos Garnet Star, second player plays Thavas, and third player played 7 Seas. And finally in third place we had Team TC Puri. The first seat player was a Raging Form Abyss player, second seat was Sanctuary Guard Blaster, and third seat was simply Chaos. And that wraps up all the big tournament results that I could get my hands on. So obviously I didn't include everything because I mainly looked through Facebook and the ARG website, the Vanguard website, and there is a very easy way to find all the VGCS results through Twitter as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this new series. Let me know what you think. If I forgot some events, let me know. And also, don't forget that if you go to any big tournaments, I don't mean local tournaments, not local shop tourneys, but just like big tournaments like ARG, VGCS, Team League, stuff like that. If you know the top 3 or 4 places, or even the top 2 places that win at those events, then do send me their deck lists at least, and which event it was, in which region, and stuff like that, so I can basically show off the results of these tournaments to the rest of the world if they're not as popular as, say, ARG or VGCS. So that's pretty much it for me today. I hope you guys enjoy this new series, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.